Wow, that 2D 3D really does blend well as oil and milk. Oop,
Matrix!
we just had a black guy in there somewhere.
I was just thinking the same thing right there.
Oh, the Matrix?
Yeah.
No, the black guy, of course.
Oh, gotta love those teleport beams and how terribly placed they were.
Yep, and isn't that the name of, isn't the definition of that Ricky back?
I think that's the name of an aspirin.
Okay, well, because it was back when they were just moonwalking, or trying to, so that would explain everything.
Yeah, why are they walking backwards?
Because, I don't know, at Riki, that's why.
And now for some 3D fighting for sprites that are clearly not designed for 3D animation.
Obvious villains! Hooray! Oh, okay, obvious villains are... Maleficent's an obvious villain, but... For fuck's sake!
Maleficent
Time to fight the robot!
Also, machine gun versus regular pistol. Who will win?
Clearly the terrible teleporting beams.
I'd pay money to see that battle.
You're wasting money.
Yeah. Also, am I the only one who noticed that some of the sprites during that segment were slightly blurred and some of them you could actually see the pixels from them?
Yeah.
I noticed. Also, Digimon Adventure. Fuck you, Paul. Okay, so now that it's over, anyone want to give their final statements?
Yeah, it's like this. Path of Heaven, I see some of your comments on Paul's animations and how you keep saying, oh, he gets better, he's getting better. No, he hasn't. All right, I'm just going to say this. Paul, I know it's cool and all. You found this new way to animate in 3D, but for God's sakes, lay off it. Jesus Christ, you overused the 3D way too much in these animations. And most of the time, it just looks so obscure because the sprites you're using aren't meant for 3D animation. All right, when it comes to like sprites that are good with using for 3D, all right, that's why guys like Alvin Earthworm use like a Sonic Advance sprites in certain 3D animations because they work in a 3D environment. The robot sprites you were using, they don't. They just have 2 dimensions, only 2. And the only way you could make them work well with 3D environments is if you were to somehow edit or make custom sprites of them actually looking in different dimensions. But as far as I know, you probably don't, considering you, Paul, you don't really have that kind of effort or time to go into something like MS Paint and actually work on something like that. It's another thing, your effects are just terrible looking. I mean, with your animation effects where the characters are moving in, they don't line up at all, and they just look jittery, staggery, and it just doesn't flow well. And the teleporting beams, that's not how teleporting beams work. They don't just sporadically appear. All right, you know sci-fi movies with the UFOs where aliens will just abduct people with this giant grappling beam? It's like, oh, I'm gonna pull you up. You want to know how the beam works? It shoots down on whatever it's trying to pick up, brings the guy up, and then it just closes in on itself. It doesn't just sporadically appear and fade away. All right, that doesn't work. And near the beginning there, where you were having that, do you know the part where you were zooming in on that guy's room and going into the computer? Uter, I know what you were going for, but dude, it's going way too fast. If you want it to be a bit more cinematic, it's got to be a bit more slower and a bit more dramatic. Your animation is just way too fast, and it doesn't have time to just slow down to take in what's going on, and that's basically what ends up obscuring a lot of the scenery. That's basically all I saw here. Obscure, egregious scenery that's just it's just not pretty to look at.
I think you just ranted over the time limit of the video twice over.
Holy shit.
Well, good. Yeah, well, it's like this. I do animation, so I am well aware on how animation works and how certain things work in animation. None of this does it. And another thing, Paul, you still need to work on your 3D animation. It's like, yeah, you got it working, but you're still doing it wrong. Your characters are walking backwards. Why? Why?
They're pulling a Michael Jackson.
Shamon, motherfucker.
Parv, you have anything to say?
Well, I can't really say like pretty much Realm like ranted on everything, and plus I don't know that much about animation, but knowing him, I can't really say that much other than real. How do I put it? Like I wouldn't be surprised like after he sees this, he's just gonna back out of this like he did with every other thing. But let's just see
Of
what happens
course.
from there.
Wouldn't be the first time either.
And
Exactly.
probably won't be the last. Okay, what I have to say, Jehovah's not happy with this. He's not happy with all the magic that's in this.
He's not happy with magic, and he isn't happy with this.
Yes, Paul,
There's too much.
Jehovah is disappointed.
Yeah, there's too much technology.
Needs more snakes that a kid can pip slap.
Yeah, no, it needs more Larry Boy.
Yes.
It needs to be on the Island of Misfit Animation Project.
It's like it needs more Larry Boy, for he is basically God's greatest Jehovah's Witness. It's like, you don't worship God, plunger attack.
I think we're done here.
Yeah.
I think so too.